This CMAC Sports broadcast is brought to you by the following sponsors. Thank you for your support.
Up next, number 13, Jackson Kloster.
Our next speaker this evening, David Reese, wearing jersey number 23. Been in the program for 3 years. And here tonight for David, Mom Ida, Brandon stepdad, Dean his sister, Lila and Mary Lou, and his nieces. Congratulations, David.
Up next, number 14, Sebastian Valdez.
Our next senior this evening, Vincent Ramirez. And he is wearing jersey number 35. Been in the program all 4 years. Here tonight, Mom, Dad, and his sister. Thank you, Vincent. Congratulations.
Up next, number 24, Pablo Lascano Duran. Pablo has played 1 year on JV and 1 year on varsity. With him tonight are Eusebio and Lorena.
Before we call out our next senior, we want to tell Vincent happy birthday. Happy birthday, number 35, Vincent. Happy birthday, honey. Our next senior this evening, John Ramirez. John is wearing jersey number 36. It's his first year in the program. And tonight he has Furman and Esmeralda here for him. Congratulations, John.
Up next, number 25, Kenneth Whitaker. Kenneth has played 1 year on JV and 2 on varsity. With him tonight are Kenneth and Sarah.
Our next senior this evening, Nathaniel Molina, wearing jersey number 55. First year in the program, and tonight here we have his godmother, his sister, and the rest of the family. Thank you, Nathaniel. Congratulations.
Up next, number 33, Malik Tatum. Malik has played 3 years on varsity. With him tonight are Jerry and Crystal.
Our next senior this evening, Steven Gonzalez. Steven is wearing jersey number 69. He's been in the program all 4 years, represented this evening by baby brother Will, his mom Paula, dad Anthony, Aunt Paige, and cousins and family. Congratulations, Steven.
Up next, number 44, Jonathan Vargas. Jonathan has played 4 years on varsity. With him tonight are Rosario Arias and Joel Hernandez.
Our next senior this evening, Guillermo Garcia, jersey number 71. And Guillermo is represented this evening by Mr. Rivera and Mr. Amador and Fresno
next, we have number 50, Gonzalo Vargas. Gonzalo has played 3 years on varsity. With them tonight are Leticia Reyes and Irene Vargas. Up next, number 51, Ulises Escamilla. Ulises has 2 years on varsity. With him tonight, Antonio Escamilla and Anaí Cruz.
Our next senior this evening, Raimundo Rodriguez. He has been in the program all 4 years, representing tonight as his parents, and he's really good this year. I would like to thank my parents, Raimundo and Andrea Rodriguez, and my grandparents, my sister, and
Hey, Dad, can we get Adrian to walk?
after high school, I plan to join the military, like my brother who is currently deployed. Thank you, Raimundo. Congratulations.
Up next, number 52, Gustavo Molinero. Gustavo has played 2 years on varsity. With him here tonight are mom and dad.
Where they at? Time. Now get the pig. It's coming, bro. Yeah. It's time. Stop. What y'all doing? Stop.
Up next, number 55, Jesus Mesa. Jesus has played 4 years on varsity. With him tonight are Edelmira Mesa and Sheila Mesa.
All the way down where the band coming out, you gotta walk all the way down.
Up next, number 71, Emiliano Murillo.
You should do
Up next, number 77, Michael Diaz. Michael has played 2 years on varsity. With him tonight, Jose Diaz and Sally Diaz. Up next, 79, Ivan Flores. Ivan has played 3 years on varsity. With him tonight, Beatriz Flores and Leonel Lopez. Up next, number 80, Julian Mesa. 2 years on varsity. With them up tonight, Balvin and Joey.
Right here with me?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunrise Stadium for the 94th annual Roosevelt game. On behalf of Fresno High Organization, Superintendent Bob Nelson, Roosevelt Principal Michael Brown, and the entire Roosevelt community is our pleasure to bring you a football game. Featuring the Warriors of Fresno High School and your Roosevelt High School Riders. It is the goal of Fresno Unified and the California Scholastic Federation to make athletic events enjoyable for all spectators. Please display good sportsmanship toward our officials, coaches, and players during the contest. We encourage the maintenance and care of all of our facilities and abstain from the use of alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. Fresno Unified is a character district. We hope you enjoy your evening and the best of luck with our teams. Please remember that the process of presenting outside the stadium will not be allowed before, during, or after tonight's contest. If you choose to leave the stadium, you will not be allowed back into the game. Thank you for your cooperation. Tonight's officials are referee Justin Tercero, umpire Clay Williams, headlineman Jeffrey Schaefer, field judge John Stevens, back judge Trey Finley, our scoreboard operator Mark Sutton, and our video operator Aaron Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for our Rough Rider varsity football team!
Oh, I'm a note. No, yes, no.
Yeah, it was a week ago Monday, and he was coming from the boys' house, so he was coming on Autobahn, turning left onto Frank, and he got the arrow to turn left, and then the girl freaking ran the red light, hit him, spun him out, hit another car, ended up under the influence. Copy that. Let's hold off on the national anthem until we can get done right now.
It is the game to top all games, the oldest rivalry game in the city of Fresno, featuring the two oldest high schools in the city of Fresno, the Fresno High School Warriors and the Roosevelt High School Rough Riders. The 94th annual Pig Game, the Little Big Game. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dan Taylor, joined by the coach, Fred Clark. And tonight, rivalry games, Fred, you usually just can toss all the stats, the win-loss records, everything out the window.
Oh, no doubt. You know, when you have games like this, you have teams several years ago, a Roosevelt team that had only won one game, shocked a very good Fresno High team to win. And this is not the rule, it's the exception, but it happens. And these, when you get a game like this, once it gets started, they legitimately do not like each other. And Roosevelt on paper is clearly the better team, but Fresno High does have some talent, and if they do win this game, they'll be playoff eligible, so they have something to play for.
Roosevelt 5-4 in the one-loss record. Fresno High 3-7 in the one-loss record coming in. An interesting game taking shape here at Sunnyside Stadium in southeast Fresno. A lot of alumni have come back. Good crowd tonight, both schools. And we're a little bit late tonight because of senior night festivities. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The Fresno High team arriving late. But we've got the band ready to perform our national anthem. A joint performance by both the Fresno High and Roosevelt High School marching bands down on the running track in front of the main stands here at Sunnyside Stadium. So, senior night, and we have been seeing senior nights with several schools thus far. They bring parents, family, friends out onto the field, introduce each senior. Both schools executed their senior night tonight. And so we're coming at you a little bit later than we were supposed to, and there's a number of reasons for that. Fred, Fresno High being considerably late, one of those reasons, and both teams are guaranteed a certain amount of on-field warm-up time, and Fresno High being late pushed things back.
Yeah, I thought maybe Fresno High went to McLean or some other venue tonight because they were well late, and you know, maybe there's a bus problem. I really don't know, but we were waiting after the JV game. Roosevelt's down warming up, and we just had no idea what was going on. And seldom do you have two teams having senior night at the same time. It's usually just a home team, and Roosevelt's a home team tonight, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, we'll know very quickly because football is about to begin. Roosevelt will be kicking off. Fresno High receiving. The Warriors will be defending the east goal here, going from east to west here in the first quarter of play.
We have a beautiful night for football. Fall has finally hit the Central Valley. We have a temperature of 61 degrees, just a slight breeze making the flag go a little bit, but it's going to be a cool night by the time the game's over.
Jeremiah Facundo, Damari Ferris, deep to return for Fresno High. And you're right, Fred, it is a beautiful night here at Sunnyside Stadium. Glad you're with us here on CMAC North Yosemite League Football, our final game of the season, and it's been a terrific season. Ball scoots past. Facundo picks it up at about the 10-yard line. Trying to cut back. May have gained a couple of yards to the 22, but that's where the Warriors will begin their very first possession.
Facundo just went pretty much horizontal on that. He didn't get a heck of a lot after he fielded the ball, in a good job on coverage by the Rough Riders.
Ivan Santamaria, the quarterback for Fresno High, actually a couple of seasons ago, was at Roosevelt at the beginning of the school year and transferred over, and he's played very, very well. A very good quarterback leading the Warrior offense.
You know, Dan, that marching band, they did a pretty good job on the national anthem considering they were mixed. I haven't seen two bands go together with that much success in quite some time.
Santamaria with the fake and a shovel pass, and that's going to pick up about 4 yards. Interesting little play call there to get things going for the Warriors.
I thought the Warriors might try going deep on first down. They had a man, but he wasn't quite open, and I think the shovel pass was secondary.
Santamaria, a quarterback, strong throwing arm, good running skills as well. We've seen a few quarterbacks similarly skilled in the North Yosemite League this season. Second down and 6. Good off tackle run, and the Warriors have got a first down across the 30-yard line.
They opened a good hole on the left side of their line, push the Riders back.
Coming in tonight, the Warriors have won the pig game 46 times. Roosevelt has won the pig game 45 times. And there have been 2 ties. So number 94, who knows?
The last several years, the Riders have dominated.
Facundo switching sides. No, actually he goes off, and a very late substitution trotting on for the Warriors. Looks like Demaria Pickett. Back in motion. He's going to catch it out of the backfield. Turns it upfield. He's across the 40-yard line.
Dan, the most memorable one of these pig games that we've done on TV, several years ago, they were playing at Ratcliffe Stadium. Fresno High had a 34-7 lead shortly before the half. Roosevelt scored right before halftime to give them a little bit of hope, and they ended up winning the game 48-45. And Fresno High, they had that 27-point lead right before half, and they let that slip away. And that's the last time they've come close.
Second down and 2, and it looks like we're going to have an offsides penalty.
Good job by the Warriors driving drawn Roosevelt offside.
We've seen a number of different cadence schemes used thus far this season. Last week, watching Sunnyside High with the clap. And the hard bark there by Santamaria draws the Roosevelt defensive front off and picks up an easy 5 yards for the Warriors. Gives them a first down at their own 44-yard line. Give to the back, and he is, he spins, still has the legs churning, but he's going to lose a couple of yards on that play.
Just about got an escape on that, but Roosevelt had some good pursuit.
Rivalry night up and down the valley, a number of terrific games. There are some outstanding rivalries that have spanned many, many years. Of course, you look to Visalia in the Milk Can game, and Redwood and Mount Whitney, and of course, Tulare and Tulare Western.
One of my favorites is Clovis and Clovis West out at La Monica tonight.
That's right. That's right. Pass is dropped, incomplete.
That's an intriguing game. Clovis West, I had one of the best teams in the Valley at the beginning of the season. You know, first 1-3, and they're going into that game at 5-4. They've lost some close games, and they've really been streaky and erratic. And Clovis, on the other hand, is without quite the talent. That's a lunch bucket team, and they come in at 6-3, looking to extend.
3rd down and 13 for the Warriors. They'll be going to the air. Ooh, rifles a bullet between about 4 players. Incomplete. And the Warriors are facing 4th down and sending on the punting unit.
You know, getting a couple of first downs, moving the chains, and taking 3 minutes off the clock's about as good as a start as I think Fresno High was capable of putting together right now.
Jeremy Young back for the Rough Riders at about his own 30-yard line to field this punt. And it's going to land and be downed at the 24-yard line of the Rough Riders. So Roosevelt going on offense for the first time tonight. And we're going to get to see one of the more talented quarterbacks in the city, Jackson Kloster. But he's racked up some numbers, Fred.
He certainly has. I mean, he's really lit it up. Last week, 6 touchdown passes. And that's all the good players that have come through Roosevelt in the last 100 years. It's quite an accomplishment.
He's thrown 23 TDs thus far on the season.
And only 5 interceptions.
A late substitution, finally getting out onto the field for the Rough Riders. And they have induced Fresno High to jump. So a quick 5 yards without running a play.
Defense, 5-yard penalty.
Roosevelt has got a big offensive line down there, too.
Indeed, they do.
They outweigh the Warriors almost 60 pounds to a man down there on the line. They should be effective running the ball.
Kloster doing just that. He's got the first down, and he's across the 45 and run out of bounds at the Rider 46-yard line.
Kloster is rangy, but he's not shy from contact at all.
Jackson Kloster, son of the head coach, Josh Kloster, who has coached this team to a 5-4 overall record this year. They're 3-3 coming in tonight, 4th in the North Yosemite League. On the ground once again. Forward progress might get Banks to the 46. We'll see how they spot it.
Roosevelt set the tone for a decent season. They beat Reedley on the opening game out at Reedley, and Reedley was expected, even though they were young, they were expected to be a little bit better. And that surprised several people, including myself, and they've used that to be a very competitive team this season.
Quick out pass. First down for the Rough Riders.
It is complete tackle by David Ruiz. Aquinde gets it to the 44-yard line of the Warriors, and that is a Rough Rider first down.
We have an unnamed back for the Riders. We'll try and clarify that at halftime.
Player to be named later. One thing the Rough Riders do is run the football very well. Kloster with great numbers throwing the football, and he's done a terrific job through the air this year. But Demaria Banks, their featured back, only 5'5" and a sophomore. He's rushed for 688 yards this year and scored 8 touchdowns.
Not real big, but he falls forward. He doesn't just stop at contact. He's not a large young man, but he runs with a lot of authority.
They keep the ball on the ground again, and they're very close to get another first down. Might be a yard, maybe 2 yards short. And that is Demaria Banks, who we were just talking about. And from appearances, so it is 3rd and 1. They're bringing pressure. Banks cuts back, and it looks as though he has got it with a yard or 2 to spare.
Banks didn't have a heck of a lot, but he found just a little seam and was able to cut back in and get the first down plus a few extra.
So here we talk all about the passing skills of Jackson Closter, and all they've been doing is running the football and doing it very effectively tonight. Closter with a keeper. Had them fooled, and he's down across the 25-yard line.
Cameraman takes a bit of a tumble down there.
That does happen.
It's happened to me more than once down on the sidelines here too. Sometimes they move a lot faster going forward than an old man does going backward. Some very embarrassing moments.
2nd down and 3. Banks, he's got the first, he's got a lot more, and he is brought down from behind at the 11-yard line.
That big line is just moving forward enough and creating a hole, and Banks is just slipping through him.
Ultimately, the running game is going to bring those DBs up, and Closter's going to be able to start throwing over them.
The name of the game. I watched last night with Clovis North. They just have such a strong, powerful offensive line, and they were just pushing Central off the ball. Totally dominated the line of scrimmage during that game.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Closter's going to throw. Flush from the pocket, can't find a receiver. Now he sees one that overthrows him.
Fields is open just for a minute, but that pass had to be absolutely perfect, but at least it was thrown where it wouldn't be picked.
He had to thread the needle on that one. That's a tough one to do. 2nd and 10. Give goes to the back in motion, Jeremy Young.
It looked like he had more potential at the beginning that might have gotten some decent yardage or into the end zone, but the Warriors closed the gap on that quickly.
So 3rd down and 7. Closter. Caught.
He may have got first down yardage on that, just short of the goal line.
It looks as though he did. They're going to mark it at the 1-yard line. Looks as though that was Davian Fields hauling that ball in. And indeed, we see the referee give the signal. It is a first down for Roosevelt, 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
I don't look for any trick plays right now.
Closter hit at the goal line, but it looks as though he has managed to get in. Indeed he does. Jackson Closter completes a very impressive 72-yard drive.
Took 4 minutes off the clock and mixed it up real well.
So Roosevelt on the board first in the 94th pig game. Extra point is good, and the Riders strike first, up 7-0 on Fresno High.
Boy, scoring first in a game really puts a bounce in the step there on the sidelines.
Well, the other thing, too, that offensive line was so overpowering on that drive that gives the defensive front something to think about.
Yeah, Fresno's going to have to do some adjusting on that, and I don't quite know what it'll be here, because if you move up too many in the box, you know, you open yourself up for something else. And Cluster's a very good quarterback. He seems real adaptable back there. And this Roosevelt team, Roosevelt's been a program on the rise. They've had several coaches over the years, but right now their numbers are pretty good. And coming up from the middle schools, they have a couple of strong feeder schools coming in. The future looks bright for them. They just have to get it stable at the top.
Short kickoff, fielded at the 22. Oh, turns the corner. He's got room to run across midfield and wrestled out of bounds. And we've got 2 penalty flags flying over on the sidelines, which usually means unsportsmanlike conduct. We'll see the call.
Yeah, generally late hit and sometimes some retaliation.
A terrific return, though, to get across the Roosevelt 45-yard line. Indeed, personal foul charged for the Rough Riders. Now that's going to take it from the 41 or 42-yard line all the way down to the 28-yard line.
Good striking distance for the Warriors now.
So a big break for the Warriors, who get to start their second possession at the Roosevelt High 28-yard line. Santa Maria, quick out. Running room aplenty. Pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
That was Sanchez. After bringing the ball in, he found a space and made it pay. Roosevelt's playing a little soft.
Antonio Sanchez hauling that one in and had some nice running room to get the football down to, well, they're going to say he's at the 9-yard line. First and goal from the 9 for Fresno High. On the ground. Cuts back toward the end zone, but pulled down about 3 yards shy.
That was Ferris. He was patient, let his block set up for him a little bit.
And you don't see that a lot at the high school level. There's a lot of anxiousness in high school running backs to try to dash through and make something happen.
Yep, want to get into that end zone.
Second out and goal from the 3-yard line. Once again, cuts back into the end zone. Fresno High touchdown.
It's what the Warriors needed here. Get some confidence, gain some momentum.
So the penalty, a crushing blow to the Rough Riders. It gave Fresno High tremendous field position to begin their drive. And they capitalize to score. Fred, did my eyes deceive me, or was that snap a knuckleball?
That snap was a knuckleball. I didn't think he was going to get it off.
So Ferris with a 3-yard run for the touchdown. The extra point splits the uprights, and we've got a 7-7 tie in the Pig game from Sunnyside Stadium, the 94th Pig game. And some great players have played in this long-standing rivalry, the oldest in the city of Fresno.
And one of the oldest west of the Mississippi.
Indeed.
Yeah, Dan, Fresno High, this decade, they had a terrible time in the late 80s and early 90s, and Ray Reyes came in and righted the ship and built a very good team and seemingly left a pretty good foundation, but they fell into disrepair, and he came back again a few years ago, got the ship righted, and Joe Marquez kept it going, and then he left to go to Torres up in Madera, and they've been struggling ever since.
Short kick fielded at the 35. About 4 tacklers that have slid off. He's now to the 40, needs a block, steps out of bounds.
I thought he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, he clearly stepped out of bounds back at about the 24, 25 yard line.
He made that all happen too, and well, we've got a flag down back inside the 40-yard line, so I think this will be coming back.
Yeah, it looks like it will. Preliminary call. Looked like a hold. Officials talking it over out on the field. Stepped out at about the 23.
All immaterial now.
Personal foul.
Oh.
There you go, offsetting penalties.
So will they re-kick?
I was counting on you to tell me.
Well, if it happened after the play, but the flag was way back, so usually on offsetting penalties, you replay, and this is what's going to happen. We're going to have another kickoff, which are one of my favorite plays of the game.
So a do-over for these two teams after the offsetting penalties on the kickoff. Negates a tremendous run that seemingly had Roosevelt poised to begin their second possession. Tremendous territory. But now the Warriors are going to kick it off once again. This time they're going to kick it deep.
Nice kick. That's Young.
Out across the 20. Young wrapped up, wrestled down, shy of the 30-yard line.
Well, the Warriors got about a 50-yard advantage by being able to replay that.
So Roosevelt High beginning their second possession of the night. Out of the 28-yard line. Gloucester, they're going to keep it on the ground. That's Banks. Oh, big hole over the 40 and brought down at about the 43-yard line.
And big hole opened up, and Banks, even after his initial gain, he made a spin and bought himself another half a dozen yards.
That old line quick as a hiccup.
Gets it up to the 43-yard line, Rough Rider, first down.
So first down for Roosevelt. They're now at their own 43-yard line. Gloucester going to go to the air, and he's going to go deep. He's got a man about a step behind the defender, and he holds it in. He scores.
And that was Jeremy Young. Good job looking that ball in. He was covered well. Gloucester had some air underneath that.
And he had pinpoint accuracy. He dropped that football right into the arms of Jeremy Young. A 61-yard touchdown toss. Let's take another look at it.
Just how they drew it up. that had a perfect arc on it.
And the extra point is good, and Roosevelt has regained the lead here.
Yeah, the holder did a pretty good job on that. Wasn't an ideal snap, but they made it happen.
So with 2:16 remaining here in the first quarter from Sunnyside Stadium, the beach ball is out and being batted around the stands by the Roosevelt fans as their Rough Riders. Well, that pass looked as big as a beach ball to Jeremy Young as it landed in his arms, and he took it the rest of the way for a touchdown. And Roosevelt's on top 14-7. So an exciting first quarter. These two teams going back and forth, penalties thwarting some big plays. The Rough Riders were able to overcome that penalty on the kickoff and turn it into something that might be talked about for a long, long time. That 61-yard touchdown toss to put them ahead in the 94th Pig game here at Sunnyside Stadium. Glad you're with us here on CMAC for North Yosemite League football, our final telecast of the season. Fielded at the 15. Again going to the far side. Shoved out of bounds across the Fresno High 40-yard line, and more penalty flags.
Well, that part of the field over there seems to attract the yellow, doesn't it?
Sure does. Here comes the call. Personal foul.
Called against Roosevelt.
First down.
Another late hit called against the Rough Riders.
So it's a late hit call over there. That's what draws the personal foul call.
Coaches want their teams aggressive, but you got to keep that under control. That's the 3rd and 1 on the Riders, and we still have 2 minutes in the first quarter.
When they say snap to whistle, you can't go beyond that.
All right, Rough Rider students, if you have your 5-star
So we are awaiting the march off of the 15 yards. And now the football being moved into Roosevelt territory and placed at the Rough Riders 45-yard line. Second consecutive possession that Fresno High will begin in Roosevelt territory.
That's a bonus you can't count on very often.
They keep it on the ground and they pick up plenty of yardage. They may have a touchdown too. Can he outrun the defender? No, brought down at the 3. Wow.
That was Ferris again, and he just was shot out of a cannon on that. The Warrior offensive line, they didn't give him a heck of a lot of room, but he scooted through, and that looked like he was going in. Good tackle there to save the touchdown temporarily.
James Tillman, the former Fresno State running back, coaches the Fresno High running backs, and you can certainly see they're very well coached. He darted right through the defensive front. Here's another look. One man to beat.
Got him low. Yeah, Coach Tillman's like 4 feet away from me in the next booth here.
And I wasn't saying that because he was within earshot. 1:30 to go here in the first quarter. They're going to keep it on the ground. Might have gotten to the 1 with a generous spot.
That was Ferris again. And Ferris, he waits, he's patient, and then he hits his hole. It just didn't develop this time, but he was waiting for just a slight gap to get into. You're right, Dan. He's down right about the 1.
Second out and goal from the 1-yard line for the Warriors. Fresno High trailing 14-7, 52 seconds and counting here in the first quarter from Sunnyside Stadium. Glad you're with us here on CMAC. Once again, stopped shy. His teammates believe he's got an in.
He's right on the shadow of it.
Indeed.
Now this, 3rd and 1, you have 2 shots to get less than a yard. Don't make any mistakes and jump.
Will we be able to get this play off? Because Santa Maria goes over to talk to his head coach and get a play call. And that has taken about 15 seconds off the clock, and we're at 7. Can they get this off before the end of the quarter? I don't think so.
And he's hit for a loss.
Bottled up and thrown for a pretty sizable loss back to about the 7-yard line.
They might have motion there inside of the 5.
That ends the first quarter of play in the 94th Pig game from Sunnyside Stadium. The Roosevelt High Rough Riders on top by a score of 14-7. The Fresno High Warriors knocking at the door. Big 3rd and, well, it'll probably be about 4th and 4 coming up.
Let's see where the spot is over there. I know, Dan, you really wanted hard to say the 3.5-yard line, but we'll call it inside the 4.
Fred, I've learned my lesson. You were a great tutor on that, and I have shied away from saying that ever since.
Can't help myself.
Yeah, but you're right. You're absolutely right. There is no half-yard marker out there. So why do people say it's at the half-yard line? Or
well, when we're coming over here tonight, it's all the time you hear people saying, well, to tell you the truth, and yeah, that's what we expect.
Right. So the team's change ends. Fresno High now will be going to the east end zone and defending the west end zone. And the Warriors with a big play right here. 4th and goal. The ball spotted at the 3-yard line. They need to try to go with some sort of misdirection.
I'd kick a field goal. That's not going to happen.
No. Santa Maria, play action, lobs it.
Going to get
I
picked.
believe it is intercepted in the end zone. Indeed it was. So, in actuality, Roosevelt gained yards on that, because if they had knocked it down, they would have taken over at the 3, and now the ball's going to come out to the 20-yard line.
And that is such a momentum killer. You have 2nd down inside the 1-yard line. They only have maybe 2 feet to go, and you have 3 opportunities. And that one on 3rd down was a killer.
A huge break for the Rough Riders, who take over now at their own 20-yard line. Kloster. And that's Davion Fields, who brings it out near the 30-yard line. Picks up about 9 on the play.
Pick up of 9 on the play, 2nd and 1.
Fields again, 1st down.
Again with the reception, pushed out of bounds by Demario Pickett.
Brings the football out to the Rough Riders 39-yard line.
You know, Dan, even at my advanced age, candy is still addicting once I get started with it.
Banks does a terrific job of getting past the first wave and changing direction. Now to the 46-yard line.
He moves laterally so good. There's so many your running backs that are successful can do that, and they can do that and just change direction and still maintain that speed and strength.
Kloster overthrows a wide open receiver at the 40, and a penalty flag flies in the defensive backfield. Here comes the call.
Illegal participation. That's a 15-yard penalty. It's down.
Well, there you heard illegal participation. So I'm assuming there was a substitution matter, or
it's a 15-yard penalty.
Well, that is a big, big blow for the Warriors to give up that kind of yardage. The ball moved down to their Fresno High's 38-yard line. Not sure if that meant Fresno High had a 12th man on the field or there was a substitution issue.
Usually that's a five-yard penalty.
Banks across the 30 down to the 29, perhaps 28-yard line. We've got an injured Warrior down on the field.
Just a bit of discomfort down there. Trying to get a number.
Antonio Sanchez, the injured Warrior.
Doing double duty, also plays wide receiver for the Warriors.
Demario Banks, only a sophomore, so we're going to see a lot of him for 2 more years here, and take another look at that run.
I didn't see quite where Sanchez got hurt, though.
Training staff tending to him on the 29-yard line. Keith Penpeck, the Fresno High head coach, coming over. The Roosevelt offense, talking to their head coach, Josh Costner. Jackson Klosner, the team's terrific young quarterback, defeated during senior night festivities on the field prior to kickoff.
Yeah, that was an entertaining pregame show. It took them a while to get that rolling.
Took a while to get this game rolling.
Yeah.
But once it did, it has been rolling. 2 offenses have been moving the football very, very well. Tough blow for Fresno High. Unable to get it in when they had 1st and goal down to the 1-yard line. And
Sanchez is slowly walking off the field.
Brings up 2nd down and 1 for the Rough Riders at the Fresno High 29-yard line. Mario Banks in the backfield, back of his quarterback, Jackson Klosner. Takes the handoff. He's got the 1st down and more. Crosses the 25, so Demario Banks down to the Warrior 24-yard line with another 1st down.
Kind of skipped and then accelerated again.
Kloster hits his receiver. Now the knee was on the ground, but at this level you can get up and run again. You can't at the college level, I don't believe. You can't at this level either?
No.
Well, somebody just did, so if Bob Kajanian's watching, I'm sure he's making notes.
Yeah, he was definitely down. It wasn't even close,
right.
But hey.
But they're giving the Rough Riders 5 yards. So 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Banks up the middle, brought down at the 3.
And big Ivan Flores there, the left guard for the Riders, just opened a hole. That wasn't a pancake block, but he just kind of collapsed on that would-be tackler for the Warriors. Really opened it up.
Demaria Banks, the star of this drive. Closter is going to run it himself. He keeps it, gets in, and it's a Roosevelt touchdown. So Jackson Closter with his second quarterback keeper into the end zone tonight. And we take one more look at it as he got in handily. Terrific blocking up front.
When you have a tall, rangy quarterback like that, all he has to do is really lay out. Nice snap.
And the extra point is good, giving the Rough Riders a 14-point advantage now.
The
21-7.
Rough Riders offense is really in gear right now. They're looking good. The Warriors, after that devastating inability to score down there, they need to make something happen this drive. They're in danger of having a real long night.
Well, it was twofold problems for the Warriors, the inability to score from the 1 yard line, and then the inexplicable penalty that marched off 15 yards. If it was a substitution penalty or too many men on the field, not sure. But
well, I'll go down and ask one of the officials at halftime. And Dan, they're always so glad to see me when I go down and
I'm glad somebody is. No, you've got a great rapport with the officials, and you get some great information from us.
Some better than others.
Those that don't record the telecast, right?
those are the ones.
Yeah. So Jackson Closter's second quarterback keeper into the end zone puts a third touchdown on the board for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, who lead the 94th Big Game by a 21-7 score. Low liner of a kick, brought back out to the 37-yard line.
Facundo again, or Facundo, and I like when the ball's in his hands, he makes things happen. He doesn't break too many of them. I like to see the ball in his hands a little bit more often.
He does a terrific job. Officials talking on the far side. I'm looking. There is a penalty flag at about the 47-yard line.
Holding, call against Fresno.
Penalties. A problem once again for Fresno High. Now, is that a spot foul? So they take it back to the 27-yard line. So a hold on the return, and Fresno High does not have as good a field position as they would have liked to start this possession. On the ground, up the middle.
That's Ferris again for good positive yardage.
And he did get a first down, I believe. He's very close. Indeed, first down for the Warriors.
And the Warriors' running game, for the most part, has been pretty impressive
It
tonight.
has been. You're right. Going to keep it on the ground. Trying to extend the defense. And
nothing going that time.
Mariana Ferris on the carry.
It was Barrera that came in, made a nice low tackle. Lost about 5.
Look at second down and 14 now. Clock at 7:48 until halftime.
We play the Warriors just for practice.
Santa Maria rolling. Unloads the football, but it is dropped and it's an incomplete pass.
That was a nice hit too. He was separated from the ball. That was a good hit.
The minute that pass hits the receiver's hands,
then the fun begins.
Third down for the Warriors. Trying to get the down marker across the way, set in the right spot. Warriors are going to get down to their own 48-yard line for a first down.
Well, the Rough Riders helped them get 5 of that.
Well, that'll make it 3rd and 9.
Still 7.5 minutes left in the first half. The Warriors need to make something happen.
Quick toss, grabbed, but it's going to be a 4 yards shy of the first down marker.
Well, this is a tough one. They're 4th and about 4 yards to go, and the Warriors haven't been able to stop the Riders on defense yet. You don't want to give them the ball in this type of field position, but they're kind of running out of options here.
And they're going to take a timeout and discuss this situation. Your thoughts, Fred?
My thoughts right now, Fresno High really needs to make something happen. If they punt the ball away, they haven't come close to stopping the Rough Riders yet. The Rough Riders haven't had many 3rd and long situations, and they get up another touchdown right now, the route's going to be on, because the Warriors they had some body language issues after that last touchdown, because it looks like you're almost to tie the game up, and then you don't, and then 2 minutes later in game time you're down by 2 touchdowns, and that can really have a devastating effect. It's tough enough for the professionals, the top college players, but high school kids, generally their psyches are a little bit more fragile.
A very important play for Fresno High here, as they have had some setbacks. A 4th and goal they were unable to convert, and then a costly penalty that helped Roosevelt to extend their lead to 2 touchdowns, and that's where we are now, 21-7 with 7 minutes until halftime, and a very important 4th down for Fresno High. They have been able to run the ball effectively. And then the question is, will Santa Maria drop back into punt formation? And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Over his head, back to he falls down. Roosevelt scoops it up and takes it to the 14-yard line. Oh, what a bonanza for the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
You call a timeout, you set that up, your punter is 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it's like, then he falls down. Not much more can go wrong on that. I'm not blaming Santa Maria. It looked like he was surprised that the ball came back when it did, and when he turned, lost his balance, and real problem.
There you see it again. A terrible, terrible bad break for Fresno High. Kloster throwing into the end zone over the head of his receiver, incomplete.
Just over his head, and Fields just ran out of room, and we got another penalty flag down
in the defensive backfield. Now we've got a couple of officials coming in to confer with the referee.
Okay, is it a penalty or it's not? This should not involve a heck of a lot of discussion.
They are waving the penalty off. So there you go, Fred. You called it. That was a big question. But as they will say, it's important to get it right, and that's why they'll take a little extra time and discuss things.
Right, I'll give them a mulligan on that one.
Second down for the Rough Riders. Ball at the 15-yard line. Another penalty.
Warriors jumped offside. Or did they? Yep.
So it'll be second down now from the 10-yard line. Penalties are really hurting the Warriors here in the second quarter.
We're having the cell phone flashlight exchange now.
Kloster hits his receiver. To the 5-yard line goes Fields.
And he's still moving the pile.
Indeed.
It's going to be first down yardage, I think, Dan.
So first and goal from the 4-yard line for Roosevelt. Banks hit at the line of scrimmage, driven back.
The Warriors rose to the occasion on that. They need to do that 3 more times to try and get some momentum.
Jabari Devine made that big hit there right at the line of scrimmage. First time we've really seen Banks stopped at the line of scrimmage tonight.
Okay, Barrera, number 5, is at a slot for Roosevelt on offense. He plays like a backer on defense, so might have him there for blocking purposes.
3 receivers to the left of Kloster, and he rolls to that side. He's got a... Oh, that might be a horse collar tackle. No penalty flag. But they brought him down up pretty high.
That was close.
So 3rd and 1 from the 1-yard line. Kloster, quick toss into the end zone, complete touchdown, Rough Riders. There's Fields again.
Fields isn't particularly large, but he can go in and pull the ball away and gets himself open.
So the touchdown pass, extend the Roosevelt lead. Extra point good, and our score from Sunnyside Stadium, Roosevelt 28 and Fresno High 7.
One of the Warrior DBs got a really good jump on that and came in, and I thought he was almost to block the ball. It's good effort on his part.
So just as you said, Fred, that was such an important play, that 4th down play for Fresno High. They clearly were going to punt the football away. And the snap sails over the head of the punter, Ivan Santamaria, who then, as he was pivoting to go after the football, slipped and went to the turf. And Roosevelt recovered it down at about the 15-yard line. And 4 or 5 plays later, they're in the end zone, and it's a 28-7 game.
It's something, they just taken a timeout because it was something that was such an important down. And then right after a timeout, have something like that happen. And that's the biggest beach ball I've ever seen be whacked it around in a football game.
We've got the beach ball flying on the Roosevelt side. Both sides were doing the cell phone light show back and forth. And on the field, we've got a fireworks display by the Roosevelt High School offense, which has put 28 points on the board. with 4:51 until halftime.
4 possessions and 4 touchdowns. Can't beat that.
It's a critical drive for Fresno High. They need to get some points on the board on this possession. Low kick fielded at the 20. Brought out to the 30, where the Warriors will start this possession. So Ivan Santamaria brings the Warrior offense out onto the field. And they need to get some points on the board here before halftime. Three receivers at the bottom of your screen. They're going to keep it on the ground.
It's Ferris again for about 8 yards.
Ferris, very impressive running for the Warriors. Penalties have been the enemy tonight for Fresno High. This game started out like it was going to be a seesaw battle. And some big penalties and one enormous turnover have kept that from materializing.
No doubt.
Second down and 1 from the 43-yard line. Santamaria going to try to throw the football. Quick toss, batted in the air, intercepted by the Rough Riders. Hauled down from behind, the ball's loose on the ground. Fresno High recovers it. Now the referee is saying it's Roosevelt football.
We'll see this again. I thought it was loose.
Let's take another look at the tackle. Hard to tell if it came out before.
That was real close from this angle.
It sure was.
It looked like it was well, that's the only replay we have, so this is not going to change.
And we should give props to Warrior Entertainment, Fresno High students involved in crewing tonight's CMAC telecast. Great job, everybody. And we've got Keith Pempek out on the field, the Fresno High coach, and he's taking a timeout. And I'm wondering how much of that might be to argue that.
Well, the officials aren't going to change their mind, and unlike college and pro ball, they're not going to come up and look at the video replay.
So Keith Penpeck is already out to the far hash mark. I don't know if we can pick him up there on the field at the 36-yard line, but he has come out to argue that with our referee, while the Roosevelt players on your screen are gathered around their coaching staff. But that conference between Pempek and our referee breaks up now. And as Fred explained, we have never seen a call overturned in high school football.
And I don't think we're going to anytime soon.
No, but that was a very, very close call. Even our replay did not give us any conclusive view to whether the ball came out prior to the player being down. But the interception, another terrible break for Fresno High and a big break for Roosevelt High, as they now have the ball 1st and 10 from the Fresno 23-yard line. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go until halftime. 28-7, Roosevelt on top of the 94th big game. Gloucester going to the end zone.
Sounded going to be out of the end zone
Fields,
there.
Incomplete.
Gloucester had a little bit too much on that.
My question, Fred, you're up 3 touchdowns. Do you want to just make the clock at this point your 12th man? Keep the ball on the ground, run the clock down?
Well, with Banks and the way they're moving the ball on the ground, that's what I'd be doing. But Fields has pulled in some nice passes too.
Oh, no question, no question.
And as we alluded to that game several years ago when Fresno High had that big lead right before half, keep putting the points on early.
Gloucester's pass, they're going to lose some yards on that one, as Jeremy Young, the receiver, was smothered almost instantly.
Loss on the play. 3rd and long for the Rough Riders.
Another really big play for the Warrior defense here. Roosevelt's got to go 12 yards. They got 2 plays to do it. They've got to toughen up now.
Big 3rd down play. Gloucester looks for his receiver, going into the end zone, swatted incomplete. So a 4th down play, first of the night for the Rough Riders.
So the Warriors, one more play, they can dodge just a huge bullet. And I'm a little surprised that Roosevelt's went to the air too, as well as they've been moving the ball on the ground.
4th and 11. Pressure, toss, overthrows, and we've got a penalty flag.
They're going to call interference on the Warriors on this.
And that's going to give Fresno High, or Roosevelt High, a very big break. Officials talking it over. It may not be enough yardage for a 1st down.
All right. Got a holding on the defense. It's a 10-yard penalty. It'll still be 4th down.
Still 4th down. It's going to be a 10-yard holding penalty on the Warriors, but it's going to make things a lot closer.
Penalty marched off, and the ball placed at the Fresno High 14-yard line. 4th and about 3. Warriors pointing that there was movement, no penalty flag, but a loss, and the football is turned over on downs to the Warriors.
Good job on the Warriors defense. They seemed to stiff that one out early.
So 2:44 left till halftime. Fresno High now very much needs to put this drive together and get some points on the board here before they go to the locker room.
Yeah, the Rough Riders have the ball to start the 2nd half.
28-7 Roosevelt, our score. Things started off like we were going to have a seesaw battle tonight. And then penalties and turnovers have swung the momentum Roosevelt's way.
The Warriors seem to be having a little bit of confusion getting a play in. Now Roosevelt takes a timeout. They also had a little bit of confusion there amongst their linebackers, it appeared.
So all indications are we were in a state of confusion there. As with 2:44, Roosevelt takes the timeout. Fresno High will take advantage to discuss things. And the tough thing is Fresno High needs to drive and score in 2 minutes and 44 seconds, and they have not been able to pick up big yardage through the air at all tonight. The running game has been their biggest ally, and that is going to burn up the clock in these final 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yeah, going 80-plus yards with a 1 timeout left is not looking too good. And as you said, their passing game has been pretty much zero tonight.
Ivan Santa Maria has been picked off a couple of times tonight. Once in the end zone.
Santa Maria is a tough young man. He's really taken a lot of lumps the last couple of seasons. I'd like to see the ball in Ferris's hands more, but you know they kind of have to make it quick and down to one timeout.
Out of the backfield. Plenty of yardage across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
And that was Ferris again. He's got some acceleration coming out of the backfield.
Indeed, he does.
First down for the Warriors.
Santa Maria out of the backfield. Once again.
Jeremiah Facundo with the run or with the reception.
That's Facundo again. And
Brought down by Gabriel Martinez.
up to the 46-yard line. Second down, still a little short.
Warriors playing with a sense of urgency. Very quick passes, and the Rough Riders come up big. Flashing from the secondary to bring down Ferris in the backfield.
Trying to get another number here. It's tough with Roosevelt's numbers. Okay. That's our unnamed player right now.
Once again, short pass out of the backfield. Spinning, Ferris. Ball on the ground, but the official says he was already down.
That was Facundo there. I wanted the ball in his hands more often. I just got it. Minute and a half going, and it's now 4th down and 4, and the Warriors had better be careful. They should let the clock run and maybe talk about this one a little bit. I don't know, Dan.
Wasting a lot of time. A minute 5. Continuing. No sense of urgency out here at all.
How are they going to let it run down?
Blair strapping up a face mask. So the delay of game penalty will march it back. Ivan Santa Maria will punt the football.
I see what the Warriors were doing there. They don't want to give the Rough Riders a ball just 40-plus yards away, and I guess they're hoping they can make them drive or have a few other plays. I'm just confused by a lot of this right now.
So the penalty marches the football back to the Fresno High 39-yard line. Ivan Santa Maria set to punt the football away. Angles it to the near sideline, and it goes out of bounds at the 33. So one last opportunity for the Rough Riders, already up 3 touchdowns, 45 seconds left here in the first half. And the Riders' offense has been very impressive tonight.
And the Rough Riders with 2 timeouts left, and they do have some quick strike explosion, and I think they may try a couple of shots down. And they do receive the kickoff for the second half.
Four receivers. Jackson Kloster, 28 touchdown passes to his credit coming in tonight. Trying to evade the rush, loses the football down on the ground, and he smothers it to retain possession, but a loss of about 8 yards on that play.
I look now for him just to run out the clock.
28 seconds left, you're absolutely right. Roosevelt coming in 5-4 tonight, 3-3, 4th in the North Yosemite League. Win tonight should send them on to the postseason. Kloster going deep. Man has gotten behind the secondary, but pass interference is going to be called.
Fortunately, it's not a spot penalty in high school, so that'll give the Warriors a break.
So penalty flag up at the 32-yard line. Official also tossed his cap. I think We'll see how this plays out.
Four is the unsportsmanlike.
It'll be offensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 4 of the offense.
Okay, an unsportsmanlike conduct called on the Rough Riders after the play, so the pass interference will be negated. And we'll do it again with only 5 seconds left in the half.
A little bit too much talking after the play. Five seconds left. This will be our last play of the half. Foster wants to go deep. Same route again. I believe that receiver had gone out of bounds and back inbounds. Hauls it in, brought down at the 12-yard line. And that is going to end the first half of play.
Banks had to wait just a little bit and couldn't quite outrun his man. So the half will end.
Half ends with an impressive play. And as you have pointed out, Fred, Roosevelt will get the football first in the second half, already leading 28-7. So a disheartening first half for Fresno High, an exciting one for Roosevelt High. Lots of senior night festivities on tap here at Sunnyside Stadium at a halftime. Reminder for the guys in the truck, they have extended halftime from 15 minutes to 20 minutes for some added senior night fun. So we will be back with you then for the second half of play. But for now, 28-7, Roosevelt on top of Fresno High in the 94th Pig game here from Sunnyside Stadium. The cheerleading squads meeting up at midfield to begin some of our senior night halftime festivities. We will come back in 20 minutes with first half highlights and much more. Until then, we're going to toss it back to the CMAC studio for much, much more.
after that, we will celebrate our cheerleaders. So cheer seniors, make sure you get in alpha order by last name at the back of the band, color guard and letters. All right, if I could have the cheerleaders remove their palms from the center, please. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. with our band members. So we have four-year band member Isaac Burrell. With Isaac tonight, we have Roxanne Burrell and Richard Burrell.
Fresno is building newer, safer bike lanes across the city. These protected cycle tracks provide a physical barrier between the bike lane and motor vehicle traffic, creating a safer cycling zone. These cycle tracks will instill confidence in riders, yet everyone on the road is still required to obey all traffic laws. Cyclists should still ride responsibly and exercise caution when riding in the protected lanes. For motorists, this means that the roads you've been driving on may be changing. Be on the lookout for new parking, driveway, and intersection changes. For residents and tenants on these changing roads, be aware that mail, trash, and parking locations may move as well. Fresno is excited to provide diverse transportation options to our residents. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
What if I told you there was one word commonly used to dehumanize Native American women, and that Webster's dictionary defines this word as offensive and outdated? What if I told you an entire town was named after this word? That word is squaw. My name is Roman Raintree, and I'm a member of the Dunlap Band of Mono Indians and Choinumni people. My mother, Gina Charlie, is my inspiration for working to rename our community. When we use language that degrades and dehumanizes people, it sends the message that their lives are not worth protecting. According to the National Congress of American Indian Policy Research Center, nearly half of Native American women report having experienced sexual violence, and over 1/3 will be raped in their lifetimes. In California, cases of missing and murdered indigenous women are among the highest in the nation. Our towns and landmarks should be named after things and people we honor and celebrate. The routine use of an offensive slur is contrary to our shared values. Please join us and amplify our call to respect our community and end the use of this derogatory term for geographic naming. To learn more, visit the website below. Thank you.
One of the key goals of the project, Clean Shared Mobility Network, is to try and provide benefits to disadvantaged communities. In Fresno, that's Southwest, so that's our project area. We have a network of charging stations that we're installing throughout the disadvantaged communities. To date, so far, most of them have gone into Fresno Housing Authority sites, and we still are evaluating other sites, and we're getting recommendations and suggestions on where to site future charging stations. There's the car sharing. That program, it allows people, it's based on an app, and it allows people to basically rent a car for short periods of time. And those are typically people that don't even have a car. They're all electric, so that helps with the environment. The Bike sharing works in a similar fashion where you have an app and you can rent the bikes. The battery here is swappable. It allows us to station the bikes anywhere. The bike, as well as all of the equipment, is GPS and geocoded, so we know where the bikes are at. We're going to stagger the deployment. We're not putting all 200 bikes out at once, especially in the beginning. Then we have an electric medical van that are ADA compliant, and so they can transport to medical facilities. It's a 5-year project. The step that we're at now is deploying the vehicles. We plan on doing that this fall. So once we've deployed the vehicles, then we go through a process of dynamic review. So we'll see where they're being used and not used so that we can relocate the vehicles where they're most efficient. What's really unique is how we've combined car sharing, bike sharing, van pool, all into one program. That's pretty much what's unique about our project.
Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know either, but now they can cross in any direction at pedestrian scrambles. Pedestrian scrambles are intersections that allow pedestrians to cross in every direction, including diagonally. These intersections make this possible by having an exclusive pedestrian phase in the traffic lights. To use a scramble as a pedestrian, press the walk button when you arrive at an intersection and wait for the current green light cycle to complete. When the walk signal lights up, cross in any direction of the intersection. Drivers and cyclists should continue to focus on traffic signals and only proceed when the traffic lights are green. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
Hey there, I'm Mark Jackson.
And I'm BJ Yabisu.
And we're from the Pie Shop. No, not that kind of pie. A product incubator.
Whether you are a fledgling inventor or an existing company, the Pie Shop can help you incubate your business.
Tired of tinkering in your garage on your idea?
Make the Pie Shop your shop.
We offer mentorship, workshops, events, services, and dedicated and shared office spaces.
We have 8,000 square feet of shop space filled with 3D printers and other tools to help you develop your prototype.
And our partner, Blue Dolphin Engineering, a company that has 20 years of experience in prototypes and inventions, is right next door.
A nonprofit, we're located in downtown Fresno at 1755 Broadway Street at the Peerless Building.
The Pie Shop is open during normal business hours.
For more information, visit us at thepieshop.org.
Or give us a call at 559-481-5004.
What I love about CMAC is that they provide me with the knowledge,
the equipment,
the space,
to express myself,
to amplify my voice,
to share my story.
My story.
My story. Go to cmac.tv/mystory to learn more.
In Southwest Fresno, it's just been this barren land forever, and trees are a representation that not only life is becoming involved into that particular area, but that there's a sense of care for people in that area. Now, the object itself may be small as a tree or as a small seed, but the symbolism of what it is, it's huge, because if you water that seed and if you water that tree, it grows into something that's huge.
All total, this project planted over 405 trees in Southwest Fresno, and it's just really made a lot of improvement in the area. This was part of the Southwest Urban Expansion Project as part of the TCC grant. You know, it was just specifically identified for this region that's underserved, some of the poorest air quality in the area. It really benefits the residents here, but it also benefits the businesses in the area. It benefits the air quality. So it's really a regional benefit, more so than just right here on this particular street. We're reconstructing the irrigation to modern irrigation systems that are drought tolerant. We're making sure that we're planting the correct tree in the correct place and the trees that are going to thrive in this environment.
All right, we're going to put a little dirt in.
It may seem small to others, but it's huge because of what it represents. It represents new beginning, a new beginning that one day will become a life change for so many people, especially in an area that's disenfranchised. There's transformation that's happening, and it's happening because of projects like this. So we're grateful for it. We can't wait to finally have some Kool-Aid under the shade.
You may have noticed new traffic signals on the road. These are pedestrian-activated signals, or HAWKs. These signals make it safer for pedestrians to cross busy streets. How are HAWKs different from conventional traffic signals? These are found in locations where children are likely to cross the street. Unlike green, yellow, red signals, the HAWK is only operational when activated by a pedestrian. When the lights are off, drivers may proceed with caution. When activated, the yellow light will flash, warning drivers to slow down. Then, the yellow light will turn solid, telling drivers to prepare to stop. The two solid red lights will tell drivers to stop completely for the pedestrians. Then the red lights will flash to let drivers know they can proceed with caution. The signal will then go dark until activated by the next pedestrian. When the walk symbol lights up and it is safe to do so, pedestrians can cross. Always look both ways before crossing. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
Hi everybody, this is Seta.
And that's T, and we're Pedal Junkies.
And we're here to tell you all about Fresno County Bicycle Coalition.
The Fresno County Bicycle Coalition is an organization that promotes safe bicycling for everyday transportation and recreation in Fresno County. We do this by providing community events that promote safe cycling. We offer smart cycling classes, community rides, and bicycle advocacy all over the county of Fresno.
Want to know more about Fresno County Bicycle Coalition? Go to fresnobike.org and check it all out. See you in traffic.
You are what you litter. Coffee cups, cigarette butts, food wrappers, soda cans. Litterheads are a major problem. But we all have a choice. Don't be a litterhead. One vision, one mission, one Fresno.
Together, we can beautify Fresno. Find out how at beautifyfresno.org.
What I love about CMAC is that they provide me with the knowledge,
the equipment, the space to express myself,
to amplify my voice,
to share my story. My story.
My story. Go to cmac.tv/mystory to learn more.
A community garden, it brings so much more than we even envisioned that it would bring. This is the Yosemite Village Community Garden and Urban Farm Incubator Program. This front part of the garden is the community garden. So there are spaces that community members can come out and check out for them to grow food for their own families. If they need coaching or they need help on what to plant in season or get access to seeds, we also help them do that. The other half of the property in the back, we have a farm incubator program where we work with farmers to give them a ½ acre of land so that they can start developing their own business plans. They can start farming and getting used to farming at a little bit larger scale. Our farmer Miguel has been working in farm work labor for over 10 years and he had not had the opportunity to start his own business or to get the opportunity to manage his own operation. But he really has a passion for agriculture, and so that this is what he hopes to be doing full time.
You guys want to go for a walk?
We also go into the classrooms and teach in the classrooms, and then also bring kids from schools to the garden to learn here. We have volunteer days every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if someone wants to start gardening and they don't feel like they know how to do it, or they're not comfortable with getting a garden space yet, but they want to learn, they can always come and join us during those times. Or if you're a future farmer looking for some space and some training and guidance, we have that program here too.
You may have noticed new symbols on the road. These are sharrows, or shared lane markings. They can be found in the through travel lane or the right turn lane. But what do they mean? Sharrows indicate a shared lane environment for bicycles and cars where a bike lane is not possible. For drivers, this means to be on the lookout for cyclists in the lane and to only pass cyclists in a safe manner for everyone on the road. For cyclists, this means you are allowed to ride in the full lane and should avoid the door zone of parked cars. For sharrows in the right turn lane, cyclists are allowed to continue straight through the intersection. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
We are the California Teaching Fellows Foundation, and we want next generation leaders like you to help us positively impact the lives of 40,000 K-12 youth. We hire and train over 2,000 college students to run high-quality morning and after-school.
Well, Sunnyside Stadium, where the teams are trotting out onto the field to begin the second half of play. 28-7 Roosevelt our score. Dan Taylor joined by the coach Fred Clark, and Fresno High's really got to do some serious changing of things here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's 28-7 at the half, but it could easily be 42-7. That one momentum shift really killed the Warriors, and they were totally ineffective in that second quarter, totally.
It has been a struggle for Fresno High since the early going.
No.
Here comes the powder, and we don't have a fan to try to blow this stuff away from us.
Actually, we might.
Well, I don't know why they do this. These students enjoy kicking up a powder that always blows into the press box at every stadium that we've ever been to. It'll be all over our equipment before long. So Fresno High to kick it off to begin the second half of play. Roosevelt with a 3-touchdown lead will go on offense first. And the kick will be fielded at the 20-yard line. Cut back, he's got running room across the 40 to the 45 and across midfield before being run out of bounds.
Well, I got the fan going, Dan, but it's going to be just too little too late, I'm afraid.
Looks that way. And we won't run the fan very long because we'll become popsicles if it runs much longer.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little cooler here. Number 2 for the Rough Riders, who we couldn't figure out earlier, his name is Sergio Aquinde. So Sergio, we got it right now.
And here on our roster, we had him as number 20. They've dropped the 0, and he's simply number 2 in the backfield. So nose of the football at the 50-yard line. Roosevelt on offense to start the second half. And we've suddenly got the penalty flag in the defensive backfield. And a timeout before getting our first play off. Fresno High burns a timeout.
Looks like they had 10 players on the field, or maybe it was 12.
A quick look at the North Yosemite League. Of course, Sunnyside High played last night, played and defeated Sanger West 48-13. So the Wildcats wrap up North Yosemite League play going 7-0. Very impressive season for the Wildcats, the NYL champions once again. Torres High sitting in second place at 5-1. They're at Madera South tonight. McLean, they're playing Hoover tonight, and we've heard that the JV game had some major problems, a bench clearing melee that brought that to a halt in the third quarter. Roosevelt coming in tonight 3-3, Hoover 2-4, Fresno 2-4, Sanger West closes out the season 2-5, and Madera South a rough one 0-6 as they close it out with a rivalry game with Torres High. Oh, right up the middle, across the 40, out of the 30. Can he outrun the secondary? Tries to cut back. Oh, he's going to hit the end zone. Terrific run. Demaria Banks, wow, 50 yards, touchdown.
Well, Banks may have been able to keep it on the sidelines, but by making that cut, he removed all doubt. That was a nice run.
An outstanding run, Demaria Banks, and he is only a sophomore. So NYL defenses are going to be having their share of nightmares for the next couple of years. What a way to begin the second half of the Rough Riders. A 50-yard touchdown run, Demaria Banks. And the extra point is added. And the Riders are now up 35-7.
Well, Dan, McLean is ahead of Hoover 20-3 early in the third quarter. Torres having absolutely no problem with Madera South. That's 34-0 at the half. That's probably going to be a running clock before too long. Sanger just putting it to San Joaquin Memorial out at Sanger, 42-0. And Coalinga in the showdown up in Dos Palos. Coalinga leads Dos Palos 14-7 at the half. And I thought I saw Clovis West leading Clovis.
It was 14-0, but that's been a while.
Yeah, it's 21-20 in the third quarter.
Ooh,
Clovis
boy.
West has the lead. And Garza is leading Madera 14-13. And this one, 35-7. 22 seconds into the third quarter.
Glad you've joined us here on CMAC for the 94th annual Pig Game, the oldest rivalry game in the city of Fresno, one of the oldest west of the Mississippi, and the two oldest high schools in Fresno. Fresno High School Warriors in the white, and the Roosevelt High Rough Riders in the black jerseys and pants.
And Facundo, again, gets about a 20-yard return on that kick. The Warriors in decent field position, but about all they can play for now is pride and to try and keep it from going into running time.
And one more Roosevelt touchdown without a Fresno High touchdown will do just that. So the Warriors, their first play of the second half, now trailing by 4 scores. Ivan Santamaria, their quarterback. Quick toss over the middle, dropped by the receiver. And that was Jeremiah Facundo.
When I said I wanted to see the ball in his hands, I want it in his hands, but
firmly.
Yeah, in possession.
So Roosevelt begins the second half with a electrifying 50-yard touchdown run. Fresno High, the team that's in need of moving the football the most, comes out with a dropped pass to start the second half. Low snap.
That was Ferris again. No, that was Facundo again. I was wrong. No, I was wrong. I was right the first time. That was Ferris. Got about a 5-yard gain.
Brings it up to the 41-yard line. The Rough Rider Nation, third down.
Ferris has been very effective running the football, particularly off tackle tonight.
Yeah, penalties and some incomplete passes have kept him from being able to depend on that run game, and just score now.
Dropped once again. Ben Hernandez Castro, the receiver, that hit him right in the midst.
Looked like he was planning on making his cut and forgot to secure that ball.
And you saw a few Fresno High Warriors on that replay react with great frustration. And now on fourth down, Ivan Santamaria back in punt formation.
Warriors having trouble getting enough players on the field.
But will roll across the 30-yard line and then veer back and go out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So Roosevelt holds the Warriors to a 4-and-out. And the Rough Rider offense, which has been prolific tonight, back on the field.
I really like the culture that they have at Roosevelt right now. It is so difficult with the number of coaches they've had in the last decade. There's been such a turnover, but you have a couple of good feeder programs that are bringing in some good kids, and they have about 80 kids with varsity and JV. Good numbers right now, some good athletes and some good size on these young men.
Glosser overthrows his receiver, and he's been a little high on his throws tonight. The Rough Riders at 3-3, even with a win tonight, will wind up 4th in the North Yosemite League, but with enough overall wins to advance into postseason play. Keeping it on the ground is Banks once again. Oh boy, he is up close to, and I believe he does have a first down. He is across the 45.
That big hole this line got him the first 7 or 8 yards, and he made the second few on his own. Then we have Fresno High with 3-7. They're 2-7 right now.
Okay.
Which is good for 6th place. They're ahead of Madera South, and I think who else did they beat? I don't know who else they beat.
Confusion on the field right now as our referee over talking to Roosevelt head coach Josh Kloster, and it looks like we've got a penalty, and it will be declined. Penalty.
Seems like it's an unusual play when the Warriors don't have a penalty right now.
So first down from their own 45-yard line. Thanks again. Across midfield down to the 47. Demaria Banks, plenty impressive tonight.
He's really been a workhorse. He hasn't got caught behind too many times tonight.
The way he's going tonight, he came in with 688 yards. He might have 1,000 before it's all done. Rough Riders on the march. Second down and 4. They're at the Fresno High 47-yard line. Kloster, quick toss, got first down yardage. That was Davion Fields, the receiver. And another first down for the Rough Riders.
Been calling Fields' name quite a few times. Good hands, and he seems to get open.
On the ground, Banks with a cutback. Picks up about 5. So Demaria Banks, only a sophomore, 5'5" in height, with big heart and tremendous running skills.
Got that fan shut off behind us. We didn't need it to be any cooler here now. The dust is gone.
Or has settled.
Yeah.
Foster's going to throw. There's a
Maybe.
blitz coming from the weak side. He is hammered. Ball hangs in the air. Fields pulls it in. Incomplete, out of bounds. Oh, Josh Kloster took quite a hit from the blind side just as he released the football.
Again, just a little bit too far. He's got plenty of air under that. Just out of bounds by a little over a yard.
Lure down now for Roosevelt.
Looked like the Rough Riders moved.
Indeed, so that'll march 5 yards off.
5-yard penalty.
Put the football back to the 44-yard line. 8:29 on the clock here in the third quarter from Sunnyside Stadium in the 94th Pig game. Fresno High and Roosevelt High. Banks brought down quickly after taking the football. A Roosevelt win tonight would even the series at 46 wins apiece. And over those 94 meetings, there have been 2 ties over the years.
Which will not be happening again.
That's right. That's right. Foster's going to throw the football. He's got plenty of room to run. Cuts back. Ooh, dragged down by the jersey. And the penalty flag comes down.
I think we're going to have a horse collar.
I think so too. He was grabbed by the back of the jersey. Take a look here. Yeah.
So it's fourth down. And now 15-yard penalty.
What else can go wrong for the Warriors?
I hate
Don't
to even
answer
think.
That, Fred.
Yeah,
Don't answer
yeah.
that. So the horse collar puts the football down to the 19-yard line or the 20-yard line of the Warriors. They'll keep it on the ground. Banks, he is lethal right up the middle of the 10.
One of these other young men, after the second step, he seems to be at full speed. There's such a difference between speed and football speed.
That's right.
And some of these young men, boy, you can just see that football speed really showed itself on that play.
Wanted to throw the football. Thought better of it. Receiver, incomplete, in and out of the hands. He was deflected by the Warrior defensive back.
That was Facundo. Did a good job getting his hands up at the last minute. Cluster's got some zip on that.
Take one more
So
look.
a penalty here on the Rough Riders. I'm not sure what it is. We're about to find out. Likely a holding penalty.
Move the ball back to the 15-yard line. First and goal from the 15.
Guess they're going to leave us guessing on that one. Banks, he's got a hole. They've gotten back to the original line of scrimmage.
Warriors did a pretty good job not letting Banks get that into the end zone. Clock continues to move, under 7 minutes left in this third quarter.
Take one more look at Banks. Well, he was one block away from breaking that one. Banks, he's got running room. Plenty of room in front of him. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. Demaria Banks, his second of the night.
Just makes that nice cut there too. Then just pretty much ran over the defender here in the end zone. See it one more time, just pushed him in.
So the Riders reached the end zone for the 6th time tonight. Banks with his second. Gloucester has run in 2 and thrown for 2. Extra point, a line drive.
Yeah, got a hand on that.
Did not make it. So the PAT fails, and it's 41-7.
Would you like another one of these?
I'm good, Fred. Thank you.
You've had enough nickel wafers for the night, huh?
Can't believe how much damage you've done to that so far tonight.
It's embarrassing.
So Roosevelt on top, 41-7 here. 6:23 still to play in the third quarter from Sunnyside Stadium. And the beach ball comes out again. You'd almost think you're at Dodger Stadium with this thing being batted around. Students running to get under the beach ball.
Well, you're recording the World Series game right now.
I am.
Okay. to be real quiet.
Thank you.
Any potential blowouts. I have to say stuff like that to keep.
I know
guessing.
it's not a blowout. I just caught a brief glimpse. Roosevelt, after their 6th touchdown of the night, en route to their 46th win in this historic series, which would even it at 46 and 46 with 2 ties. Very patient running, waiting for a hole to open, and he's able to bring it out to the 40-yard line. Once again, that's Jeremiah Facundo. I apologize.
Dan, I want to point out a couple of nights ago we lost a former high school star, McKinley Lee, who was an outstanding player at Edison. He's only 22 years old, died earlier in the week. His dad, Malik Lee, was a longtime coach, and the Lee family has produced some excellent running backs, and I was very sad to hear the story about McKinley Lee passing away.
Good young man. In a very sad week, our prayers go out to the Lee family.
Well, there's Ferris again, getting up near midfield. Nice run. He ran about 30 yards to gain 8, which is a good thing.
Reversing field. Usually they'll tell you just hit that hole and don't dance around in reverse field, but as you see here on the replay, he did it and wound up getting some pretty good yardage.
Yeah, usually when you reverse the field, you're opening things up for a illegal block or a hold.
Brings up 2nd down and about 3, maybe 4. Football's at the 47-yard line. So it'll be 3. They've got to get across midfield for the first down. Once again, he's got the first down and then more across the 40. And then pushed out of bounds is Damari Ferris.
Ferris has had some good yardage tonight. He's probably approaching 100 yards.
So 1st and 10 for the Warriors from the Roosevelt 39-yard line. Ferris up the middle. He's got 10, 12, still on his feet, and runs out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
And the Rough Riders had 8 men up in the box on that, and Ferris broke through that and getting 20-yard gain.
Take another look. Terrific job. Mario Ferris been a huge contributor to the Fresno High offense tonight. Another first down for the Warriors. Santiago to Ferris again, and he's picked up maybe 5. Between Ferris and Banks, they're burning up some calculator batteries tonight.
Well, I like these ground games.
That's the way the night began. Some impressive running. Thought we were going to have a seesaw game, only for penalties and turnovers to thwart Fresno High's offense as Roosevelt ran right by him and built a huge lead. Ferris, one man to beat, and he is ridden out of bounds.
Brought out of bounds by number 16, Andy Acevedo. Warriors have entered the red zone. First and 10 Fresno.
So another first down for the Warriors.
4 minutes, 18 seconds left in this third quarter, and the Warriors haven't given it up yet, but they're way too far behind to be able to have any realistic chance of really getting back into the game. They could make it look a little bit more respectable, but pretty obvious what's happening.
Well, not only are they way too far behind, but the only way they're gaining any yardage is on the ground, which just runs down the clock.
Eats it up.
And they, even if they are able to hold them on defense and whatnot, fumbled football, loose football, Roosevelt's got it. And yet another Fresno High drive in the red zone, thwarted by a turnover as the ball goes to the Rough Riders. A bad snap, and Santa Maria unable to pick up the football.
Fourth Warrior turnover of the night.
Mistakes, turnovers, penalties. They have been the worst enemy for the Fresno High Warriors in this 94th pig game. Out come the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And their tonight prolific offense, which has put 41 points on the scoreboard. One more touchdown, and we're going to have a running clock for the fourth quarter. Quick out pass. This is Fields. Away he goes to the 37-yard line.
Fields came within inches of breaking that.
He did.
Finally got down about the 40-yard line. Brought down by Angel Garcia of the Warriors.
I think some of the Warriors blocked themselves on that last play.
You were correct. Said mistakes, turnovers, and penalties. Those three killers.
Banks trips and goes down.
He may have tripped over one of his own linemen's feet on that.
Davion Fields has limped off the field. He is in quite a bit of pain on the Roosevelt sideline. Not going to hazard a guess to the injury, but I wonder how long he will be out. He is shaking his right leg. Quick out pass. Correa. Or correction, LeBron McDaniels, the receiver on that play. As Davion Fields is up telling his coaches he's ready to go back in.
Work that crap out.
3rd and 1 for the Rough Riders.
Third down play. Banks has the first down and then some.
I like the way Banks just, after each play when he picks up one of these big gains, he just kind of pops right back up like, hey, I'm ready to go again.
There's some chirping going on down there. Fresno High players, I don't think understand how far behind they are in this game, but they're getting a little mouthy with the Roosevelt bench.
Yeah.
And we have seen in many games this season what happens when that occurs. Usually penalty flags. Quick out pass, complete. Is that McDaniels or Berea?
Yeah, some of that chirping that we see just seems real inopportune. I always get a kick out of somebody sacking the quarterback and doing a dance on first or second down. If you're going to do that, do it after you sacked him to force a punt. And at this level, you do too much of that, then you're really going to cost your team with penalties.
Riders keeping the football on the ground and gain another first down. Sergio Jacinde. Nice job following his block.
Boy, that left side of the Rough Rider offensive line, they're not blind, don't have blinding speed, but they're big guys, big road graders, and they're really pushing their blocks.
Gloucester's going to keep it. Slides, hit while he was sliding. Down to the 33-yard line.
Looked like the would-be tackler, Ramirez, didn't hit him as hard. If he would have really nailed him when he was going down, we would have had a problem. Say that it's getting chippy down there after each play. A lot of talking going on.
Quick pass. Caught. Going to be short of the first down. Sunday.
As you alluded to earlier, that's the last play here of this fast-moving third quarter. It's got to be 35 points.
So that concludes the third quarter here from Sunnyside Stadium. Roosevelt on top 41-7. As the teams will switch ends.
I think we have to have a 35-point margin before we have the running clock. The officials seem to be discussing that. The Rough Riders missed extra point may have contributed that. I wonder if they did that on purpose just to keep the game going a little bit longer. But it did look like one of the men got a hand on it. Third down and 2 yards to go at the 30-yard line. Rough Riders look primed to get in that position again.
Whether the Roosevelt side here at Sunnyside Stadium or the Fresno High side across the way, nobody's getting up and leaving despite a very lopsided 41-7 score. Roosevelt High on top because it's the pig game, and there's always a lot of fun and frivolity involved. Tonight being the final game of the regular season. Senior night, not just seniors on the football teams, but on the cheerleading squads and the bands recognized both before the game and at halftime. Our referee across the way trying to get the down markers and the chain crew situated. That's been accomplished, and we're ready to play some football. 12 minutes remaining here in the 94th annual pig game. Roosevelt High on top of Fresno High. Hakunde off the left tackle, takes it down to the 25-yard line.
Got his first down yardage. We'll give you the officials' names after this play. I'm really slacking on the job. I don't have my normal idiot card in front of me, and I don't want to show disrespect for these men.
Bouncing it outside, cutting back. That's Hakunde. Inside the 20-yard line.
Another nice gain. The referee for tonight's game is Justin Tercero. The umpire is John Stevens. The head linesman, Jeffrey Schaefer. The field judge is Ryan McFarland, and the back judge is Trey Finley.
And the Rough Riders have entered the red zone.
Second down and 3 for the Riders. Gloucester flush from the pocket, looking into the end zone, just heaves it up. He's got a receiver leaping for it. Did he bring it down? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Roosevelt. Wow.
And that was Jeremy Young that kind of brings that in. Looked like that pass kind of got away from Gloucester. Kind of a palm ball, went up high.
Well, take another look, because he just seemed to throw it up there out of desperation. We've got a penalty flag down.
We just had a penalty that we haven't been able to quite figure out yet. It was dead ball foul. So the Rough Riders are going to have a little bit longer extra point attempt. See if we can figure this one out. Okay, probably a delay of game.
So it looks like.
By celebration, snaps high again, but the kick is up and it's good.
So the extra point extends the Roosevelt lead to 48-7. And I believe we will now have a running clock for the remainder of the game, meaning it will not stop unless there's an injury.
Minute and 15 seconds into this fourth quarter, and the Rough Riders with a commanding 48-7 lead.
That's the most improbable of touchdowns because Jackson Kloster really was not intending for a specific receiver. He was under intense pressure in the backfield, and he just tossed it up.
Threw it up for grabs.
It was a jump ball, yeah.
Yep. Doesn't look quite as bad when you're up by 6 touchdowns. You know, one of the more memorable games I saw that Fresno High won, I think it was in 2003, and Roosevelt had set a record that year for the most points given up in the state of California in a 10-game season, and the pig game featured 2 teams that were 0-9 going in, and it was played here at Sunnyside Stadium because I was out here covering the game, and it was in the rain. After we see this kickoff,
Ferris brings it out to the 37-yard line.
Well, it was a game in the rain, and yet we still had a really good crowd. And when we had went on the radio in the morning, I was talking about it with Andre Covington and Greg Hoffman, the Juice Crew. We had a high school segment on there, and Andre said, "Is this game going to be 0-0?" And I said, "No, there's no comparison between these two 0-9 teams." In the time Fresno High, they had been competitive in a few games, and they were ahead of the Rough Riders 41-0 at the half. And you usually don't see that with 2 0-9 teams.
Right.
The Rough Riders are a much better team than that one 20 years ago.
Timeout taken by Roosevelt. CMAC is a nonprofit membership-based community media center dedicated to helping you create the media you want to create. Whether you want to produce a talk show, a podcast, a music video, a documentary, or anything in between, CMAC has the gear and training to make it happen. So check it out. Go to their website at cmac.tv. Glad you've joined us throughout the season. This is our final telecast of the season. It's been always a lot of fun working with the coach Fred Clark, and great fun working with our crew down in the truck. And it's a real privilege to be able to be in an educational setting, working with the students from the various high schools here in the Fresno Unified School District. Tonight, Fresno High School's Warrior Entertainment Group.
It's always good seeing these younger people coming out and learning how to do this, being a part, working the cameras, and knowing how all this goes. It's a real pleasure for us to be out here.
Hands-on experience, invaluable. Textbooks are great, but the industry changes a lot faster than the textbooks get reprinted, so the opportunity to get hands-on experience and the programs they have at these Fresno Unified Schools are just tremendous. So penalty flag flies.
And Dan, how can you not have fun being at a football game?
Absolutely right.
Always something fun to see.
So the hold is going to march it back, and another penalty charged to the Fresno High Warriors as the clock continues to tick down to 8 minutes. Roosevelt with a commanding lead, 48-7, and as we have mentioned a couple of times, the win tonight will even this series at 46 wins apiece and 2 ties. With the 94 times these two. Roosevelt, we see below us on the table at midfield, Poncho, the wooden pig trophy that Roosevelt holds possession of after winning last year, and they.
You know, last night Edison defeated Bullard 17-14, and I think they now have a 4-game edge on the Knights. They've been playing since Bullard came into existence, and now I think Edison has like a 34-30 advantage with maybe a tie or two going in there. Chowchilla's taken the lead on Liberty 28-23 up in the Ranchos, and that's another game that's going to decide a championship.
Harris cuts back.
And seeding that they're going to be doing for the playoffs tomorrow.
That'll be an interesting meeting.
Clovis West still has a 27-26 lead on the Cougars out at La Monica well into the 4th quarter. Justin Garza still maintains a 27-21 lead against Madera out at Central, and Clovis East just hammering Buchanan at Buchanan 48-16. Kerman leads Washington Union 21-0. Hanford is over Lemoore 27-13 in the Milk Can game being hosted by Hanford. Coalinga and Doss Palace tied 14 up at Doss Palace.
Quick toss across the middle, complete across midfield down to the 46-yard line. Jeremiah Facundo.
That Sanger totally hammering Memorial. It's 55-0 in the 3rd quarter out at Sanger.
Taking a look at that. Santa Maria has attempted that several times tonight, and that's one of the better results for Ivan Santa Maria. Facundo on the receiving end. Here comes Harris. He's got a 1st down and churns it down to the 33-yard line.
Rough Riders doing a lot of substituting right now. And this one, for if you are really paying attention, Reedley this year has only won 2 games, but they've played a tough schedule, and they're leading unbeaten Exeter 30-23 in Reedley in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
Something of a surprise. Mendota and Firebaugh locked up in a tough one out at Firebaugh. The Aztecs leading 21-14 in the 4th quarter, and McLean is now 33-3 over the Patriots at McLean Stadium.
Santa Maria across the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Ben Hernandez Castro.
And that's pretty much a wrap on your scoreboard to this point.
Interesting battles. Of course, that rivalry game in Clovis, that is always a thriller.
That's what, the Range Rider game, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, the Range Rider Trophy. Santa Maria lets fly. The leap. Who came down with it?
I think that's a roast. No, incomplete.
Intended for number 20, Jeremiah Facundo. Jeremy Young.
Facundo, the intended receiver there. Dangerous pass with 2 DBs and the 3 of them going up for the jump ball, as you'll see again here.
Could have went any direction, and it hit the ground.
Big 3rd down play, 3rd and 10 for the Rough Riders. They've got to get down to the 25-yard line for a 1st down. And Roosevelt had come across the line, but were they drawn off?
I thought they were drawn off. Both teams are pointing in different directions.
So they'll march 5 off against the Rough Riders. And that'll bring up third down at about 5 for Fresno High.
The clock continues to wind down with 2 minutes and 32 seconds left.
Santa Maria throwing toward the end zone, but he underthrows his receiver. Fresno High scored on their first possession of the ball game. Ferris with a 3-yard run that evened it up at 7-7. And that is the last time their offense made any significant noise. As we take another look, Santa Maria just didn't have enough on it to reach his receiver. And since that time, Roosevelt has roared off, scoring 41 more points. And the running clock now down to 1 minute and 51 seconds. 4th and 5 for Fresno High, taking a lot of time here in the huddle.
Yeah, that one just pivotal play where the Warriors could have got back into, well, pivotal series where they had inches to go on 2nd down and could not get in the end zone and then ended up turning the ball over. That pretty much sealed their fate early.
And the left tackle for the Warriors jumped. Surprised all the officials. It's kind of like they looked at one another and said, are you going to throw the flag or am I?
You know, it's something when you see a big offensive lineman move and then freeze hoping nobody sees it. And you even see that in the NFL once in a while. It's like, you're not getting away with this one,
The only place
dude.
you see that is in Saturday morning cartoons. Inside of our final minute of play here from Sunnyside Stadium in the 94th Pig game, the oldest rivalry game here in Fresno. And the Roosevelt Rough Riders are going to even it all up. Ivan Santa Maria, wide open receiver. Hernandez Castro with it down to the 30-yard line. And the ball will go over on downs to Roosevelt High, and I'm sure they will simply take a knee at 22 seconds left in the game. This is going to wrap it all up.
I don't know if they're going to have, if they're even going to run another play.
Fresno High only with 4 players out on the field, so clearly 4 seconds to go. No, we're done. They are not going to get the final play off, and that is going to conclude our 94th Pig game.
And Coach Kloster is totally unaware that the ice bucket is coming his way.
And he's got a complicit assistant coach grabbing him to talk, and they're able to dump the bucket of ice water on him.
It's chilly down there right now. I look, but boy, they're mobbing him. This is good culture. We have at Roosevelt.
I don't know who snatched it, but somebody has got Poncho, the pig trophy. But a lot of celebrating as Roosevelt players line up at the 50 and Fresno High players come down to shake hands. And the show of sportsmanship. That concludes the 2023 regular season. As the Roosevelt Rough Riders impressively finished with 6 wins. Fresno High with just 2. And a lot of work to be done at Fresno High, and Roosevelt High looks like they're headed in a good direction.
They're headed in a really good direction, Dan. The JV team, they won impressively tonight. They've got 6 wins, and with some of these feeder schools coming up, the future looks bright for Roosevelt. If they can get some stability and keep the head coach there and keep this staff going, you know, you really have to like what you see. You've got some good linemen, you've got skilled players, and just a good culture. And it's so fun to see that at one of the inner city schools. We have that at Roosevelt, we have it at McLean, and hopefully it's something to build on.
So our final score from Sunnyside Stadium tonight, the Roosevelt Rough Riders victorious 48-7. I want to thank all the guys in the truck and all the students who have crewed games this year. Jeff Stamps and company, terrific working with you guys. You're the best. We've had a lot of fun, and the most fun has been our interaction with you, the viewers who have joined us for our games here on CMAC, and we look forward to doing it again next season and hope you will join us for more high school football here on CMAC. For the coach Fred Clark, I'm Dan Taylor. Good night, everybody.